Bine ați venit, doamnelor și domnilor, fără nicio metaforă, la un interviu princiar. Am să vă spun cine este interlocutorul meu, al dumneavoastră, în această seară. Este Alteța sa regală, Printul Eduard Anthony Richard Louis, conte de Wessex, viconte Severn, cavaler al nobilului ordin al Jartierei, cavaler al Marii Cruci al Ordinului Regal Victorian, scutier al majestății sale. Este al patrulea copil al reginei Marii Britanii, regina Elisabeta II, și este al șaptelea în clipa aceasta în linia de succesiune la tronul celei mai de succes, aș putea spune, monarhii din lume, monarhia britanică. So, sir, thank you very much for being with our audience tonight.
Thank you very much indeed, thank you.
This is your first visit in Romania, official or otherwise. So, I suppose there must be strong first impressions. Can you share us?
It is indeed my first visit, but sadly only to Bucharest. So I hesitate when I say first impressions, because it's only of Bucharest, not the rest of the country, which I am told is wonderful, and I've heard many stories about it. So I'm going to have to try and come back at some point and do more exploring.
You had, I would say, a very crowded agenda. Your hosts here made sure of that, the British Embassy and the Royal Romanian family. But you came here also to put the lights on a very interesting award, Duke of Edinburgh International Award, addressed to young people 14 to 24. Can you tell us more about that? Because I think young Romanians now watching us would like to, join this program.
Well, it's a program started by my father. Although interesting, of course, that there is a connection with a previous Duke of Edinburgh and Romania, but that's another story. But this was started back in 1956, and it's spread to some 140 countries around the world, and has become a hugely successful program, a self-development program for young people. And simply what we try to do is to equip young people for life, young people from whatever circumstance, whatever background, to face whatever challenges and opportunities that life throws at them. And through a mixture of activities, they learn some very essential life skills and practical experiences, which hopefully will enable them to be able to take a very active part in life in the future.
Let's be more specific about this program, because I really want to pass through some information. There are several levels of getting involved in the Duke of Edinburgh program, and hopefully an award later on. First is volunteering. Maybe in United Kingdom, talking about volunteering is like, a very current issue. But Romania, I dare to say, might not have a very deep tradition into that. So, okay, what can a 14-year-old do in terms of volunteering?
Well, it's giving time to help others, especially others perhaps less fortunate than yourself. And it can take in many, many different forms. So it could be going to work in a primary school, or it could be going to help children to learn to read or to write. It could be going to help young children to play a sport. It could be going to work in perhaps with some older people. It could be giving time to work on an environmental project, or to cleaning up a public space or a garden. I mean, there are lots of different ways that we can give time and that we can help others, but I understand that yes, it's not necessarily that familiar now, but hopefully I think that there's a real sense amongst young people these days that they do want to give back, they do want to learn. They've seen this in other places, in other countries, and so it's so long as communities realise that this is not an insult, this is just genuinely trying to help for no gain, for no personal gain. And if then in future young people become more aware of their environment, they become more aware of people's circumstances around them, and are prepared to give back to their community, then hopefully the community will become a much better place in the future, and the young people that come through this program will be the leaders of this in the future. So it's small steps, but hopefully in the future, as more get involved, it could become something much bigger.
The Duke of Edinburgh Award already exists for more than 50 years. Do you think the world has improved through the young people educated through this program in this past half century?
If you get to meet some of the young people, most of the young people who've been through this program, then you would have a much more positive outlook on life. Now, I can't tell you that that necessarily that the world is a better place, but perhaps I can say the world would not be as good a place it is now without the young people that have done that and gone on and contributed in many different ways to their communities. So I know that it is a positive, and I hesitate to say it, but certainly in Britain, as far as I'm aware, that no young person who's ever achieved an award has ended up in prison. Mind you, there are an awful lot of people in prison who have done their award, but have not reoffended and not gone back to prison. So in a very simple way, yes, we do have a positive effect.
You were born in the mid-60s. The Duke of Edinburgh Award had already been undergoing for more than a decade by then. Did you take this program?
I did, yes. I got involved in it. I started it when I was at school, and started then completed it when I was at university. So this is my gold award, which I achieved rather longer ago than I would care to remember now, sadly. But having done it and having had that experience, I then got involved in helping the award to spread and to grow. And it's been a huge privilege for me to be able to travel around the world, to meet the young people that get involved in this to achieve the awards, but also the adults that have got engaged, whether they be teachers, whether they be sports enthusiasts, outdoor enthusiasts, whether they be, but anybody who's working with young people already in that age group, who use this program as a way of being able to engage with young people, to develop their characters, to develop those skills and those experiences, and they find it a fabulous framework within which to do it. And those are really inspiring adults that I've met over the years. And then, of course, there are the volunteers who come and sit on the boards, the trustees who manage it, the staff, and also the sponsors, the people, the corporations who get behind this and support us in order to allow this to grow and develop. And that's a great privilege. It is amazing what it has done in communities around the world. And I'm lucky I get to see that. And I would love to be able to share that. I'd love more people to see the positive impact it has. And we've got to get better at telling that story ourselves.
One of the problems of the young people today is being overweight. And I see the physics, the sports, the fitness, the dance is also a level in a Duke of Edinburgh program. What's your sport? You're definitely not overweight.
Yes. Usually I take it out on the dogs we have at home. They have to go for a very long walk when I get home from trips like this. But this won't make any sense to anybody here, but I play a very strange game called real or royal tennis, which I was introduced to through this particular program. It's the predecessor to lawn tennis. Lawn tennis is a very recent invention.
Really?
Yes. But that's
Wimbledon is undergoing right now.
That's absolutely, yes. It's only been around for 100 and odd some of the years, but the original form of tennis has been around since in its present form since about the 13th century.
It's very exclusive, I imagine.
So there aren't that many places that you can play, not many countries. So more's a shame. But anyway, that's another story. But yes, so all these different activities. The important bit is that young people choose what they want to do. So you have to do a physical activity, you have to do volunteering, you have to pursue a skill, and you have to undertake an adventurous journey. But the type of adventurous journey, the type of skill, that's down to the young person. And that's the magic of this, because actually it doesn't matter this program started in Britain. The young people in Romania who are doing this, it's their program. What they're doing, their activities that they've chosen, are their interests, their passions, what motivates them. And it becomes their award. And we don't have to reinvent it. Every year, young people are reinventing it because they tell us what they want to do. We don't tell them. So that's its flexibility, and that's its adaptability to different environments and different communities and different people, whether you're able-bodied, whether you're disabled, whether you're from a privileged background, whether you're from a very poor background, whether you're in a city or whether in a rural community. How you use that program and what you get out of it is very personal to you.
The idea is quite fascinating, I must say, but how do you finance all this global network, actually?
It's actually not that expensive, because it's really about people power. So it's about empowering adults to lead the program in their schools and their institutions, through church groups, through youth groups, scouts, guides, through businesses, apprenticeships in university. It doesn't matter where 14 to 24-year-olds are. If there's a leader or a mentor there who wants to engage with those young people and use this as a framework for doing it, then off they go. The cost is largely to us is to support them, to provide them with the training, the confidence to engage with those young people and do that. So it's not actually that expensive, which is the brilliant thing.
We are here at His Majesty's King Michael residence in Romania. Romania and Great Britain were united by a bridge called monarchy. I see this bridge reopened somehow.
Well, I hope so. I mean, and I think the bridge has been open for a while, because I know that I mean, there have been various visits from members of my family, and the Prince of Wales, of course, has taken one or perhaps two properties. I don't know. So,
are you sure?
And according to Romania, there are many more. but
your nephew Prince Harry also is keen on extreme sporting in Romania.
So, well, there you go. I mean, so there are lots of links that are going on, and I think that's great. And you know, there's a personal links, but that's all about that long-term relationship that the two countries have had. And if we can continue to remind people that there are those links and you know, and develop those relationships into the future, then fantastic.
I wish to thank you very much, sir, and hopefully we'll see you back in Romania in your first private visit, right? Maybe you'll have an invitation from your brother to visit his
well,
properties.
who knows? Absolutely, who knows?
Thank you very much for being in our program.
Well, thank you very much for your interest.
Și vă mulțumesc, doamnelor și domnilor, pentru interesul care sper că ați urmărit acest interviu.